Story 1, invest in Bitcoin, buy it with every cent you have, and then sell around the time the internet's opinion on a man called Elon Musk starts going from positive to negative, as that's roughly around the time Bitcoin starts to crash. Story 2, depends on the decade really. 1 to 10, I would say enjoy life, open up. You are going to have some of the best friends in the world. Just don't do the one thing that may happen. Just figure out how to be a bit normal. 11 to 20, also, start calling your dad dad. Don't call him by his name. It's disrespectful. Okay, you messed up a bit, so now stop doing that one thing. Open your mouth and talk like you really want to. People will hate it at first, but then learn that it's just you. Once you do that, your life will change for the better. If you are 18 or so now, just finish high school and stay in Kansas. While there, just enjoy what you are doing, and yes, get you some connections, it doesn't matter, it's gonna fail anyways. 21 to 30, go back to court before it's too late. Also, keep up with your father and visit more. Get a hold of your uncle and get over that issue. Make sure you can see your cousins and grow up with them. 31 to 40, well, if you did nothing that I told you, please just go home when it's time for your father to meet God. Spend the last few days with him while he is coherent. Don't listen to the doctors because they are wrong. Just deal with everything later. He should have come first. Story 3. I would tell her how much her life is worth. I would tell her not to let that man ruin her life, even though she thinks he loves her. I would tell her living is worth it, and that one day we will have people on our side for whom we would kill or die. Story 4. I tell myself, do not trust people, not even family. Invest in the stock market and do not get married at a young age. Take it easy and everything will work itself out. Story 5. I would validate all of the overwhelming anxiety I felt as a teen. It was real. It seemed impossible to overcome, and I needed help. I would tell myself to call my therapist's office and start treatment to avoid some really scary situations that could happen in the future. I would tell my younger self that I believe her. Story 6. I would try to talk to my younger self about his favorite things, about his life, and what he thinks about the future. I would commiserate with what I know he is going through and wish him good luck, letting him know that someone is out there thinking about him. Story 7. I would tell my younger self not to worry so much about the small things and to enjoy the moment more. I would also remind her that mistakes are a natural part of growing up and to trust in her ability to overcome challenges. Oh, and to always wear a smile because that opens a lot of doors. Story 8. I would give investment advice. Fund the 401k more aggressively, and with your spare money, buy a couple hundred bitcoins for $1 each and store them very, very carefully. Story 9. Save more money, forget about those men who just want to waste your time, and start taking better care of your skin. Please. Oh, and by the way, you're autistic as well. Surprise! Story 10. I would probably tell my younger self, stop worrying about what everyone thinks of you. People are way too busy thinking about themselves to care as much as you think they do. And yes, you are going to make mistakes lots of times, but it is not the end of the world. You will figure it out even if it does not seem like it right now. Oh, and do not worry about the small stuff. Seriously, no one remembers what you wore to that party. Honestly, a lot of the things that seemed catastrophic at the time were nothing more than bumps in the road. Story 11. I would tell her that she is worth so much more than what others think about her and how she feels about herself. I would tell her to keep going and push through all the challenges she is going through because she makes it to the other side. When she feels like ending it all, know that someday she finds herself, is happy, marries the most caring, handsome, kind man, and is going to be a mom someday. The difficulties she went through make her a more kind and empathetic person, but most importantly, she made it. Story 12. Buy every Bitcoin you can get and keep it until 2024. Buy every Bitcoin you can get and keep it until 2024. Buy every Bitcoin you can get and keep it until 2024. Buy every Bitcoin you can get and keep it until 2024. Buy every Bitcoin you can get and keep it until 2024. Buy every Bitcoin you can get and keep it until 2024. Buy every Bitcoin you can get and keep it until 2024. Buy every Bitcoin you can get and keep it until 2024. Buy every Bitcoin you can get and keep it until 2024. Buy every Bitcoin you can get and keep it until 2024. Buy every Bitcoin you can get and keep it until 2024. Story 13. You are not imagining that you are different from everyone. You are autistic, and one day you will make friends who love and support you for who you are. Story 14. You are not lazy. You have depression and autism. Stop beating yourself up about it. And do not wait until you are nearly 40 to start trying to turn things around. Story 15. I tell her to stay away from gambling, to self-exclude immediately, that I could guarantee a better solution was ahead. I tell her to keep her friend circle small. I tell her not to stress about any men or relationships that weren't the one, and to keep it simple until she finds her husband. Story 16. Yes, you are going to need to work insanely hard to succeed. But you will. And stop dating these narcissists. You are better than them. Goodbye. Story 17. Boundaries. Learn to set boundaries, because if you don't, it will hurt you and you will never have peace. The ones who are meant for you will respect your boundaries and encourage your growth. The ones who are not meant for you are lessons and will remove themselves from your life when they see they can no longer use you. Story 18. Have some more confidence in yourself. Tell the girl you like her. Ignore your thoughts of not being good enough, so why bother? And maybe mention Bitcoin and whatnot, the usual. Story 19. From the ages of 17 through 19, you will think you've seen all there is to see and that you know all there is to know. This is not true. In fact, you don't even know half of all there is to see and all there is to know. You're naive, and you need to stay vigilant and open to learning so you can wise up. Most of the people you'll meet until the age of 20 do not have your best interests at heart. Steer clear of them. Stay away from those older guys. They don't like you because you're mature for your age. They like you because you're cute, young, and naive. They'll end up manipulating and traumatizing you for life. Oh, and move out as soon as possible. Story 20. Slow down. Take a few months and think about what you really want to do. You do not have to decide right now. Do not be intimidated by school. You are smart enough to get through it, just find the drive. You can do it. Do you want to be a doctor? A lawyer? A rocket scientist? You can do it. Stop doubting yourself. You are the only one holding you back. Story 21. I would probably tell myself to stop worrying so much about things that do not matter in the long run. I would also say to trust my instincts more, and not let fear of failure hold me back. Honestly, I would just tell myself to chill and enjoy the ride a bit more. Story 22. Buy the affordable duplex, drop out of college, and leave the attractive woman. Enjoy life in your 20s to the fullest. Prepare for a mental health crisis at 29. Your life as you know it will end then. Story 23. Buy Bitcoin, stop posting so much to Facebook. I have to go and remove it all now. You'll be all right, so stop being so dramatic. Be nicer to mom and dad. Story 24. Your family is doing nothing but deceiving you. Everyone in your life is watching you suffer and enjoying the mockery and destruction of the nonsense you fell for and believed. Quietly sneak out and run away, and don't come back. Story 25. Pain is temporary, and stop trying to be someone you are not. You will only end up wasting years on people and a life you never truly wanted or deserved. Get to therapy, do the work, and it will all be okay. I love you. Yes. Invest in Apple and buy some Bitcoin as soon as possible. Story 26. It's an addiction if you are smoking marijuana day and night. Do not ever try intravenous drugs. You won't be able to just experience what it feels like and move on with your life. Story 27. Invest in Netflix and Tesla. Buy some Bitcoins and wait. Get a house before 2020. Refinance in 2021. Don't waste your time with politics. It's all for naught. Story 28. I would tell him to stop smoking marijuana and to educate himself about personal finance. I would be very rich today if I had invested every dollar I spent on marijuana. Story 29. I am warning you right now, once you graduate middle school, I do not want you to worry about anything. Also, on June 6, 2022, 4 days after your last day of school, you are going to be flying out to Michigan. You are going to get no respect from anyone, but that is okay because it will give you strength to stand up for yourself. So whatever you do, just enjoy your life. Things will get better every day. You just will not notice. Story 30. You'll be happier than you ever dreamed. But it's going to be a long, long road to get there. Don't be so hard on yourself, and cut off your mother as soon as you move out. Things won't work out the way you want them to, but you're just going to have to trust me when I say it will all be worth it. You'll open your eyes one day to the smell of fresh coffee and the sound of chatter. As you head downstairs, you'll have the most beautiful 13-year-old telling you about his Minecraft world, and the most gorgeous man you've ever beheld smiling at you in his lopsided, still sleepy way with his hair all mussed, holding out a mug of coffee just the way you like it. And it will hit you in a wave that almost knocks you sideways that this is what we were working towards all those years, and you finally made it. Just remember that. Remember that through all the tears, the tragedy, the heartbreak, the abuse, the violence, the manipulation, it all leads you to that place. Promise. Story 31. You will be doing great, but you have to be kinder. Being a nice person doesn't hurt, and being honest without being mean is a good habit to have. Also, try to look early in projects or work. You'll love that stuff, and we need money. Story 32. Get off your high horse and listen more. Even now, listen for once. And don't try to fix things up with her. It will not work the way you wanted. You're still in time to fix everything else, though. Story 33. You can be happy, maybe even happier, being single and living alone. Free to do as you please when you please. Also, be kind to everyone. You never know what they are going through. Story 34. 1. Put your money into that fund right there. Don't stay still very long. Keep moving around. They are who you think they are. Don't take it personally. They treat everybody this way. Story 35. Don't waste your time on family. They are going to let you down in the end. You're doing great. You aren't perfect, but neither was anyone else. You aren't the problem. Just be yourself. Story 36. You're still alive at 27, so please plan for the future. Also, stop eating so much junk. We are overweight, and now we have to work out almost every day and eat in a calorie deficit. Don't take Seroquel or Effexor. Brush your teeth even when your mental illness is at its peak. Learn to drive right when you get your permit because you're 27 now and still can't drive. Story 37. Skip college. Move out of state, away from family, and start a cleaning business. It doesn't matter if mom looks down on maids. Office jobs are backstabbing. Cleaning jobs stop you from hitting people who rightfully deserve it, even if the police don't agree. Invest all money into Standard & Poor's 500 Index and Amazon. Story 38. Go see a psychiatrist. You have a disorder that will make your life so much easier with treatment. Keep in touch with your friends. Don't worry so much about relationships, especially as a teenager. Story 39. See those people who caused you so much mental pain and anguish with their bullying tactics? Forget them. They're not in your life anymore and can't control you. Don't listen to their inner voice telling you that you're not good enough. While we're on the topic of inner voices, you will find someone to share your life, but it will take a while until you meet her. In the meantime, try to ignore that other voice that you can't get rid of yet. The one that keeps telling you that no girl is interested because you're overweight and have no money. That voice will lose its power when you don't need it anymore. I'm sorry that it's going to hurt for a bit longer, but there are some great individual days to come while you're waiting for Mrs. Stenton to enter your life. Yes, don't ask that one friend if she'll be your girlfriend. She's going to laugh because you're both drunk, and your friendship won't be the same. PPS. Save some money while you're on an all-expenses-paid trip. Story 40. Yo, future me is a bit rough around the edges, but guess what? You will make it, just remember. Never trade your last sandwich for a cup of coffee, and if a pigeon offers advice, it is probably more useful than half the people you will meet. Also, do not take life too seriously. It is all a hustle, my friend. Keep your head up and your pockets lighter, because you never know when that taco might be your big break. Story 41. Captain Panic, try to have a little more grace and patience. Everybody is going through something, and you can probably make their journey a little easier. Oh, and your wife is gonna cheat on you with a guitar player and then leave you for him. Sad turn of events for you, brother. Story 42. Get out of that all-girls school as soon as possible, start therapy, and be totally honest. Ask for anxiety medication. You're gonna mess up pretty badly if you don't. Story 43. Do not change for anybody and only use the valid criticism they give. I have been a people pleaser all my life, and even now I tend to do it without realizing. Once I realize, sometimes it can be too late. I start out all right and then think maybe I should say this to make them like me. It's manipulative to both me and the other person. I wish I could hug her and tell her not to be afraid to take space because she could have achieved so much more if she allowed herself space earlier on. Story 44. Keep going, bud. For years, you'll think that everything is awful and pointless, but you'll come through the other side and end up with a pretty great, fulfilling life. Story 45. Brush your teeth. Your personal hobbies are investment spreadsheets and collecting production music. Still cannot get a girlfriend. More time with the grandparents. Story 46. I would tell myself to go to law school and become a lawyer, and not to give up my dreams. In my current life, I gave up that dream when I found myself 19 and pregnant. Story 47. I would call myself in 2009 and say, stop partying and funnel every extra cent into Bitcoin non-stop until it hits $100,000 per Bitcoin. Then sell and party like the multi-billionaire you are for the rest of your life.